was that when you first took us to that website,
Yeah.
Immigrant Fonts, the blockhead font reminded me of this one Netflix show called Big Mouth that sort of centers around sort of like early sort of, it's basically South Park but set in high school.
Oh dear. Yeah.
I guess you didn't hear me.
Yeah, South Park
There.
only set in high school. Okay. So, um, hmm. This looks like an earlier version
I didn't
of the.
hear that. You lagged.
No, I'm trying to find Sergio's
What?
animation uh, page for the interactivity, and so I just got this, but it's not. Let's see. Well, should be getting this one. Got a lot of them up here. Okay, let's see if this one, let's see if this PDF works. And we're still sharing, good. So let's do this straight to animation. Okay, so this is the one that was missing. And this is a really nice treatment to show the different frames of the coconut palm and waves. I like those waves. Very minimal, nice wave. Okay. Let's go back to the beginning and just go through and see here. All working nicely. Very good. Yay. Okay. So that's in, and I'm going to close that up there. Close tab. I'm leaving this one up right here just because it is a wonderful book that is sort of right now with a lot of people doing low poly portraits. This is especially, this font called Crackly is especially cool. So it is a font in that it responds to keystrokes. Shapes respond to keystrokes that you press on your keyboard. And so this is a free PDF of Crackly. It's 30 pages of stuff. And this is showing you, now this is information design. So when you encounter pages that are looking good and are serving a purpose and are working, you want to see why that's happening. So this is a particularly good example of something that is working, conveying information, engaging a reader, introducing you to something that is usually for somebody looking at this for the first time, it's something that's completely new. So I think I'm going to, here we go. So showing how the information is made is not indented in the first paragraph. It's indented in subsequent paragraphs. It's also a short line length. It echoes the elements that you're looking at here. The letters of this alphabet, it's a visual alphabet, are these shapes that you combine and make crackly out of. And so these are all, this is explaining how you can make, oh, this is an ornament that somebody made using the font. And I don't know about the letter A, but also looking at how the pages are, where the folio is, where the header is, how there's repetition and alignment and proximity, and all the things going on in this little book to tell you about this weird font called Crackly. And so this is, you can make things that you can color. So this is a page that you could color using Crackly to make your shape. And it sort of falls right in studying what happens when you look at these simple polygons and think about how you would make images out of those. So we have one of the final projects that we have here someplace on my computer is all about creating low poly portraits. And so these start to get 3D, like you're looking down into some rooms or something like that. When you combine all of these angles together, you start getting a sense of a depth and atmosphere and pretty abstract atmosphere. And these are also examples over here of some ways that things, and so they can be filled. And again, this little PDF is free so that you could have it. This starts to get really reptilian and appealing, so that, as it were, pull on that point right there and you can peel it right back. And yeah, so these are like 3D stars and arrows going on here. So you start to see the dimensionality by just the changes of the angles. So we have all of these things going on in our brains that make associations based on our experiences from looking at things a whole lot. You start to see a whole bunch of lines like this as three-dimensional box-like shapes with arrow tops and that kind of stuff going on. Letter forms, maybe super simple, primitive geometric letter forms. And then you get to something like this. So imagine if you were a kid and you were, instead of having little puppies and things like that to draw in your coloring book, if you were drawing on something like this, painting in something like this in your coloring book, would change the way you think about the world and about structures. And I think, I'm not saying it's good or bad or anything, but it really is, it's something to imagine. What if, oh, 2 or 3-year-olds spent their time coloring in a book that had these kinds of things going on in it. So again, this is a 30-page book, and it's sort of like a booklet that we might, we put a lot more type in our books than DM20, DM2 and 6, but it's a booklet that you would learn how to make in one of those classes. And then the type, and looking at the indent, so the indent is kind of a 1P3, maybe one type of 3 points. And you can see when you start to shade these in, how they start to become three-dimensional. And then there's, in terms of the font, I'm seeing shapes and lines, so I'm not sure exactly, really want to get the font now and see how it works. But so these are, yeah, silk tie with one of these, nice, a scarf. Exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah. Cooler and cooler. Uh, so this is doing a lot with a little. And if you look at, if you're into cell structure and a physicist, a lot with a little is all you study all the time is how little is little. What's the littlest thing? The littlest thing of the littlest thing. What's the very littlest thing? And then you start thinking about how do those, when you add up those little things and put them together, what they create. So this is this is kind of a blow up of just some little things that you take and reposition and fill in different ways, and it's a lot of variables in there. So there you go. So that's Crackly, and 30 pages, PDF, free download. And so these are all different type uh, specimens that they have. Not every single one of these typefaces was designed by the, the duo. Actually, Susanna Lichko is the one who is the type designer. And so this is another type designer who is trying to, oh, I guess there you go, loading up.
Beth, I sent you my uh, compressed folder again with
Okay,
everything for you.
okay,
Just to let you know.
right. Well, I did one. This is an early one in the series. TV Songs was an early one at Immigrate. So Immigrate started at the same time as the Mat. So the Mat started, I think, on my birthday in 1984. So I was particularly charmed by it. But the Immigrate works with all of these different artists and designers who do some wild and crazy things. And some of you guys do some wild and crazy things too. So I just wanted you to know that there's that getting kind of crazy is when you're playing with art stuff is just fine. Well, anyway. So all of these things are available at Immigrate. Not too hard to remember. And all of these PDFs here, you can look inside and see the different fonts and the adventures that um, these folks have been on. Some of them are stories about, this is a new font that's called Tangly, that's just tangled lines and tangly splines and lines. So worth looking at. So these are the letter forms here, right there, and you put them all together and they start to spell this and this and this and this and this. So these are kind of words from another place that have uh, have space, and then they start to look like things that that you know about that are organic or mineral, animal, vegetable, or mineral. So tangly, this is another font. Tangly, crackly and tangly. All right, so I'm going to go over and close my tabs here. Is that it for that? And go and see if we've got the this route here. Didn't have a tab left. Said file moved or missing. I'm not sure what that meant. Obama's trying to reach me. Watsonville Film Festival extended advertisement. Go to the Watsonville Film Festival. Infiltrators are still on. Okay, plug. Whoops. So it should be here by now. I don't know. John, do you know anything about why this is saying file moved or missing?
I don't.
I'm
It's
trying to
weird.
get, yeah.
Not sure what's going on there.
Well, Sergio tried to get this file to me, and
I couldn't really read what it said. The print was really small. What did it say?
right here, it's so it's a zipped file, and I don't want to go back to.
So if you unzip it, is it you unzipped it, right?
And I've got to go back inbox.
What if you double click on it and unzip it? Does it?
But I don't see it on your emails.
It's left. This is the famous Google Mail where your files disappear.
What if you double click on that zip file?
I don't see it now.
I see.
Do you
It's
want
right
me to
there.
resend
Right
it
there.
again?
Right there. To the right. To the right. Stop. Right there. Double click on that.
That's not the
Yeah, that's a
not the
PDF.
file we want.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't read what it
Sergio,
says. That's not, I'm sorry. Oh, I thought that was the file. I
it
can't
came in
really.
from Sergio and now
Yeah.
it's gone.
Oh, I
Do
don't.
you want me to resend you the email?
So this one is the one that has been moved or is missing. And so, yeah, I don't know if we can.
He can post it in the chat, and then you can double click on it in the chat and open it up.
Okay.
Sergio, is it
Okay.
Sergio?
Yeah.
Can you just post it in the chat?
Okay.
Click on the file button. Click on the file button, and then post it in the chat. And then Beth can double click on it in the chat, and it should open right up.
If I knew where's chat.
You might have to stop sharing for a minute to see the chat window.
Okay. And chat is, yes.
You see the link at the bottom of the screen that says
Yeah.
chat? Yeah. And I don't see Sergio hasn't posted it yet.
Yeah, no, give me just a second.
Okay,
Here.
but
Can
that
you
should
just,
work.
post
Okay,
the,
ready. No, it says can't find file.
Well, you have to find the file to do it, yeah. Oops.
This is my USB. I don't know if it should be in my desktop. Let me try.
Yeah, you should see the USB flash drive on your desktop and just double click on it, yeah.
Yeah, I did it, but I put it on the chat, but in the chat says can't find file. Let me try.
Yeah,
So when you click on the file button in the chat window, can't you just then navigate to the USB stick?
Yeah, I'm opening it right now. Okay, now it's charging again. Okay, now it's charging the downloading tab. Let's wait.
here's an earlier one that is completed. Yeah, two of them.
Okay, ready.
Oh, there it is, there it is. Okay, Beth, do you see that?
Yeah.
In your chat window? So double click on that and tell them it should,
Oh, it's.
when you
it's
click on it, it
already-
should download it, and then it will be in your downloads folder. Let me try here.
And then I've got it right here. Keep both. And so that's the one, but
And then if you double click on it again, it should open.
yeah, it should. And I've got to get a little of this stuff out of here. So now it's opening. And I'm going to open up the interactive PDF here. And then I'm going to go.
And then when you're ready, you can share your screen again.
Because I've got so many windows up here now.
Yeah, when I was packaging the InDesign,
I gotta get this out of here. This big old.
yeah, it was only packaging only the PDF, but for print. So I add the interactive one.
Okay. Share screen. Share screen. Oh, here we are. Didn't take so long. So wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Here we go. Okay. All here. All right. Thank you. That final file has been successfully turned in.
Nice.
And now, John, I don't have that much on my list for, I think we checked all of the files, project 9 that people have to stop sharing here. And if you have something that you want to talk about, one of the things that we thought we would like to do and we're wondering about is early in the semester we did type war and we did, but I don't know if we did the kerning thing. Did we do the kerning thing? You did that too?
Yeah, we did that.
I think that's on our paper rosters from back at the early part of the class, and I wanted to make sure that they got into Canvas. So I'm right now I'm trying to herd in all of your grades and make sure that if you've turned in part of something or anything at all that doesn't show up in Canvas, let me know. So that's, we're trying to get all as many points as you've earned as possible, uh, posted in Canvas so that when we comes time for the final grading, which is, they're very strict about that. Every day we get something from turn in your grades on time from the school, because there's so much going on that we have to make sure that if people, like in a couple of, in my classes, some people sort of drifted away, and so they have to have a grade. And the college has created these ways of kind of mitigating circumstances that used to be kind of troublesome for withdraw and drop or whatever, pass, no pass, all those things. So, but it all depends on us getting them our grades on time. So we need to get our stuff graded.
Yeah, but the
My goal is to get you all, make sure that you have grades for all the things you've done. And I'm not always sure that I trust Canvas that much, because sometimes I know that I've graded something and I go back in there and it doesn't seem to be graded. So do let me know if things aren't showing up, please, in Canvas. And what else? John, can you think of anything else that we need to cover before we go? We classes for a while more now, but
Well, I mean, wow. There's always stuff to think about this for a second. Maybe we should just ask for any general or specific questions on showstoppers that people have right now to make sure they can get their projects done on time. How are you folks doing? Do you have something specific that's stopping you, or is there something we need to go over that's still confusing?
I'm okay.
Well, the silence I can interpret as meaning they're all really almost done with their projects, and they're they're putting the final polishing touches on now, but they're really done and not having any troubles. And I guess that's what that means, right? Nobody has any questions.
So I'm great. I have made let's see if I can find it here, and I posted it. See if I can go into Canvas and get oh. So there's some things that I put into, I sometimes wonder if people ever look when I send out notices, like in our module here, we have down at the bottom here, we have the rubric to the final project. And so, well, actually, this is the revised part 1. Maybe. So I have been the final interaction. So today, those of you who presented the final project, so a couple of you, 3, got the 2 points for that. So this is the kind of the last presentation day. And just looking for the designs. I made the rubric because it has fewer um, fewer points. Let me just see if I have the. This is the one I was just in, I guess. Yeah. So again, so this is the final project rubric that we've been following. I've just made another one because these days have all moved up a week. So this is the 18th. This is
You're not
today.
sharing right now, Beth, just so you know.
Oh, I'm not sharing? Okay. Okay. I'll have to switch this in again here. Thank you.
Of course.
My sharing was hidden underneath layering. Okay. So meanwhile, back at this, so this is the final rubric that we've been looking at for the last several weeks, either attached to our instructions or shown on the screen and that sort of thing. So what I've been doing is I've been starting to fill these out for people who have finished. And so they will be something that you would get in an email just to show you what you've accomplished in terms of this. And so in some cases, I can't find the 15 thumbnails, and some people, the 15 thumbnails have been in there in the rubric and in the grading and every place in Canvas. And if you didn't do those, you could kind of retroactively do those. And those were done after, since it was after we were all home. It was done on paper and pictures were taken of them and they were sent by email, the photo of the thumbnails to get those 3 points. And so if you didn't do those, it's okay with me if you go backwards and do them. Or if you think of something like, John, can you think of anything that would be maybe more useful or to get those 3 points? Because it's, 3 points. And
Excuse me, Beth.
yeah.
I don't know. I just want to say it looks like Gary is definitely going to get an A. I mean, just looking at him now, seems like a green.
Well, yeah, he got everything done at the maximum number of points.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's slouch Gary. I don't know.
I was eking through.
Yeah, and he's in the green right now. See?
So, Gary, you had a question?
No, I was just going to say, did you need those things gone over that we discussed revision-wise, the rubric instructions for people using the latest CC? I could bullet point those really quick if you want me to speak to that.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm just going to describe a few things for the benefit, or actually, do you want me to share and show?
Sure, share and show.
All right. These are things that I found confusing, and in an effort to help other people not have that issue, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a couple things that I think you'll find hopefully beneficial. Let's see here.
If this can help people finish up and get more points, I'm all for it.
So under step 2, intent for digital publishing here. This is actually, I made notes and they discontinued the digital publishing, or DPS as they call it, suite. There's a bunch more on that in a link that I sent Beth, but they did this on August 31st of last year. So what's going to happen now when you're in InDesign and you're setting up a new file, you're going to need to make a couple of other selections. Instead of digital publishing, you could use web,
Right.
and expand it, and you will see your 1024 by 768, or you can use mobile. Doesn't really matter. Same thing under iPad. So Adobe no longer is doing that DPS, digital publishing step, that we all saw in this.
In the instructions.
The step
Yeah.
2, remember that when you get there. Just as long as you get these in dimensions, that's relevant. Let's see. There was this Command K. Yeah, that's not that important actually. But what did I note? Let me make sure this is.
There was one other one that, the create one is right at the beginning.
Yeah, but that's just
I think we all got that.
That doesn't really matter. I did talk to. Oh yes, the other thing was interactivity rather. Sorry.
Yeah.
So when you're creating buttons, something I don't know. This is just user preference, and this isn't. The instructions will work fine, but if you right click, you have hyperlinks and interactivity right here at your fingertips. It's not that big of a deal because if you're set up in your workspace for interactive PDF, they're right here too. Whatever you prefer. I've always been a right click guy. It's way faster for me, but that's just me. So that's pretty much it. The main thing is just this, understanding that this is a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for a while. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
what did I do wrong? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the main thing that threw me.
Okay. Well, that may be helping someone who is just on the verge of getting their links done. So I'm not sure who all might be at that spot. But and those instructions are going to be just just let us know about that. It's gonna be our TA, aren't you? No, maybe. I hope.
Yeah. I'm stacked.
If they pay you enough and you have time.
I'm stacked for 18 units in the fall, so I got to prune that down and see what's practical.
Right. Yeah. It will make it
was plenty
different for students to have that extra little bit of help.
But that's my plan for sure. I'm very flattered you offered. So yeah,
Scale it down, so that it fits. Yeah.
So Beth, one thing we could do, since this is our last meeting for the semester, is to let people know that they can register for more digital media or other classes online right now. The schedule's posted. Most classes will be online, as you probably guessed.
And you'll be good at it now.
But we have, we do have a number of good classes in the fall that people might be interested in. It's probably a good idea to register sooner rather than later because we honestly don't know what enrollment's going to look like in the fall. We could get a dip, we could get a bounce. There are different factors at play. When the economy goes down, our enrollments in digital media generally go way up, but also there's the COVID online thing. So it's very confusing, but the thing that is not confusing is that the courses are available to you right now. They are there, so you can go and pre-register, get your course list, get the courses that you need. So this is a good time to think about what you want to do in the fall. If you want to keep taking classes, you should keep taking classes because we have them. And there are a number of, after DM1, there are a number of directions you can go depending on what the bent of your nature is and what your goals are. Whether your goals are transfer or getting a certificate or just personal enrichment or increasing your job skills, making you more employable, helping you out in your self-employed business, then you should take more classes because, the community college system is still the best deal around. And We are probably going to get some folks from the CSUs who are looking at CSU being all online, and they're saying, well, gee, it's all online. I can get basically the same experience at a community college for a lot less money, and we are a good bang for the buck. So don't forget about your local community college when you are thinking about what you want to do with the rest of your life. This is an investment that you can't beat. So when in doubt, take a class, right?
Oh yeah, I'm all for it. I'm DM 4, 2, and 5, 2, 4, and 5 next fall.
Right.
4 and 5. Wow.
So email the instructors of the classes you might be interested in if you have any questions. Email Beth and I if you have any questions. Do the research, look at the courses that are offered. Again, everything's online. It's there for you to, it's waiting for you to register for classes. My parting message would be, keep looking at your goals. DM1 is kind of a foundation course. So we assume that most of you are taking this as a foundation course and not an ending. It's a beginning. So you should be thinking strategically, what courses work for you right now? What skills do you need to build up? What are your goals? What are your career goals? What are your educational goals? And you may want to talk to some counselors at Cabrillo, although quite frankly, if you have digital media specific questions, you probably want to talk to us first, because the folks who are running and teaching the digital media courses know a lot more about the digital media program than the counselors. So the counselors have to keep up with the entire college. So they can only know so much. We focus on digital media. So if you have very specific digital media questions, ask the experts. And that's the teachers here in the department. Yeah, Gary.
That's exactly what I did, and I'm glad you're bringing that up. Where I found the counselors really beneficial and helpful for anyone who's doing this and listening is researching their transfers, things like that. They will definitely know what you need to know. But talking to Beth and you was invaluable about suggestions of where to head, and you knew my so yeah.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, or actually a comment. I'm actually taking this class as a precursor to a intro to video production. So I don't know if you or Beth teach that, but yeah.
Beth, you're muted if you're talking. I can't hear you.
DM34 is coming up, and we're all trying to figure out how we're going to teach our classes. And so I'm going to be spending, 3 weeks or something like that, taking classes this summer to so that I can convert my DM2 class as much as possible to being online, and so that you would probably be looking at. I know that the instructor for DM34 is working on a way to make the class work. So signing up would be the important thing. And so all of us this summer in DM are working on scaling our classes for complete online delivery. And so that's, if the classrooms come back, then we'll also use the classrooms. But so that's something that you should sign up for, and then I can tell you more about it. All of that stuff is kind of unfolding as we speak right now. So we're preparing for classes and letting the people who set up the systems or the classrooms, if classrooms are involved,
Yeah.
all of that is being done right now. So the main thing is to sign up for the class that you think you'll need, and you can keep checking in with us if you need information that you think we might have. So over the summer, stay in touch, and also look at the college main page of the college, because they will be updating students on a regular basis about what's coming. But right now we're all preparing for fall as though it's going to be completely online. And there are some other classes like music, athletics, things like that. They're trying to work in distancing and see what all of the guidelines are for that.
I know that in music, like, because I've seen in the VAPA, I think 1000 building, that they like have their own pianos in the building. So I'm guessing like half of the students there don't have their own keyboards, unlike me, who does have their own keyboard because I used to do music. So I sort of wonder what they're gonna do.
Yeah, and how they have to wipe down the pianos if they decide to use them. All of that hygienic stuff needs to happen constantly in a class that's face to face. Well, distanced people in 6 feet apart in a space. So, but that's not quite the problem for digital media. It could be tricky for video. So those are that's something that we're looking at to make sure that we have that set up. And so that right now we're researching that, figuring out what needs to happen, and I need to send my dean a message that lets him know that I need a better webcam. Yesterday, I should have said. So it's all going on right now. But the thing for you to do is kind of plan as though you're moving forward with your career as a student and get registered for the classes you want, and then hope things pan out.
Oh yeah. And do you know if and the counselors are still available over the summer, right? Because I mean, classes are still available, so I feel like naturally.
I think everybody's sitting in their bedrooms Zooming every place in the world. Well, certainly in our area, all of us are ways to help students, and that's we're doing our jobs. That's part of it. Is the counselors are there to steer you in the right direction, and John and I are here to help for people who are involved in digital media, and so we can. Sometimes the flavors of digital media are way ahead of what the schools are offering, so we can kind of help steer you in the right direction so you don't waste time on doing something that may not be what you really want. So being efficient and learning all you can as close to home as possible with as little money as possible too, so we keep it reasonable. So those are the kinds of things we'll be helping students with over the summer, and I'll be more informed and educated because I'm going to go to school too. And I'm going to get my materials prepared so that they're accessible and all that good stuff. So, yeah. Anybody got anything else any burning questions that you have?
Zach, we can't hear you.
Dog, because my dog, they have this habit of pushing their water bowl around, so I'm telling them to wait. They're out of water.
Okay. All right then. Then you should give your dog some water. I think that's
over in like a few minutes. I'll do it then.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were trying to say something. I just heard some noise coming out of the microphone there. And
Yeah.
your hand is up, so.
It
looks like Gary's got aliens visiting.
Gary's going, outer space. Oh.
Gary's out again.
Take me
Bon
to your leader.
voyage.
Take me to your leader.
Or, I know, there we go, Neil. Okay.
Oh, he
he's
escaped.
back.
He escaped the clutches of
How
the
was
blue
it? How
aliens.
was it?
It was nice. Ground
Safe?
control.
Is it still out there?
Still there.
Oh, boy. That was a quick trip.
It was fast.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Not too bad out here. Cold.
wish I had a green screen like that.
Yeah, it's funny. This laptop I got is managing all the background textures behind me
Right.
pretty well without me dropping a cloth. I couldn't believe it.
I don't have anything but.
Yeah, backgrounds are fun.
God, show up. You're going all op art on us.
That's so
Look
funny.
at them all.
That's a
Oh,
good one. Yeah, Skype must be kicking themselves. Zoom came up from out of nowhere pretty much over the last few years and blew doors on poor Skype.
Yeah.
Poor guys. They fumbled it.
yep. Oh, well.
That's a good one. You should be punning while you're showing the backgrounds. Come on, have some pre-canned.
He knows about the real person.
Candy,
Wait,
candy.
No, he shouldn't pun yet. He doesn't want to get ahead of the situation.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to face the music.
Oh
Oh.
my gosh. Pretty good.
Oh.
I got nothing, but great job, guys.
Yeah, puns can be a beach sometimes.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, puns. These bad puns come in waves.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm adding punctuation. I'm in parentheses. I'm a parenthetical. Bye-bye.
It's like Saturday Night Live. I'm crushing your head, but the character version. Parentheses.
Are those? Is that a punctuation pun?
It is a punctuation. All right, you guys.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's been an awesome semester. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Beth. Thank
Make
you, John.
beautiful
Much
stuff.
appreciation.
Have a good time. Everybody stay healthy.
Everybody stay healthy. Everybody stay healthy. Register for the new courses. Finish your coursework. And practice social whatever. And stay healthy.
You too.